This would have to go back the other way. There we go. All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming this evening with an awesome message. This message is going to really help someone out there. And it's going to be a awesome message. Shalom in the live. It's good to see you. This message is I really didn't want to use the word hidden because I believe we're in that day where there's nothing hidden, nothing. But I wanted to make it really a mystery, but I couldn't even make it a mystery because it's not even a mystery. So I decided to just say the hidden truth. And I embrace the fact that it is hidden from those in which the Most High has hid it from. Woo! I will say that I went over a chapter with a verse in Job, in the book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 4. I'm going back there because of something I said yesterday. Who can bring a clean thing out of a unclean? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? It says, not one. Not one. It goes back to Psalms 51 in chapter 5, where even David was owning the fact that he was born in iniquity and his mother conceived him in sin. That is such a powerful thing that I don't think I would ever shake that off, because I believe that was one of the keys to many of the lies that's been on the face of the earth for quite some time. And that is that we tend to want this flesh to be looked at as something so great, so excellent, so wonderful, so good, so perfect. And it all falls under sin and iniquity. So therefore, we can't give this flesh all its pomp and all its glory. You see? But do people do it? 24/24. Wake up, lay down, thinking that they are it all, not understanding. When heaven see your flesh, he see iniquity, sin, ugliness, wicked, and evil. While you seeing yourself to be all that and some. You see how messed up that is? That's that backwards stuff. When he say left, we go right. He say up, we go down. No matter what he says, we go the opposite way, and we take it throughout thousands and thousands of years, living based on the way we want to see it in this flesh. So this topic is going to be a good one. In the book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 4, it says, who can bring? Who is letting you know what man or woman, what male or female can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. So we just bring all these words out of ourselves and claiming it and naming it that we all let in some. And that's why we suffer so much in this wicked body, because we give it too much glory. We give it too much praise. We give it too much honor. We give it too much. I want to talk about a few things before I get into that topic. I want to talk about, I'm sitting here doing my hair and my head is so sore. I had to do cornrows first before I put these in, but I did them too tight. It is, I'm like, my head is like throbbing because I did them too tight. So I'm sitting down and just doing my hair, a cornrow, like some people call French braid, And then I added the crochet. But what happened was, I sat down and I said, Father, it's sad that I can't tune in to nobody. Nobody. You guys, I go on even to those who just starting or those who've been on here a length of time. I can't. You can. I'm not speaking about you. I'm speaking about my experience. I can't seem to tune in to anybody that's preaching the power and the truth. It's just not there. And it makes me feel, like I tell y'all, it makes me feel so alone, thinking that, wait a minute, this is how you going to go out, knowing what you know and not hearing someone else that's actually teaching it to fall under, watch this here, spirit and truth. Oh, they teaching it all kind of ways, y'all. All kind of ungodly ways. You remember in Romans 1, he said they hold the truth in ungodly and unrighteous. See, what y'all didn't understand, he's speaking of all these pastors, these bishops, these priests, these evangelists, these teachers, these Maureen, these prophets, these prophetess, these how would I say? I said pastors, bishops, these apostles. They teaching with truth in them under their ungodly and unrighteous understanding. And they're holding it. So I'm sitting here listening while I'm doing my hair. And I realized this one man, and I know the power that be has given him the authority to take over YouTube. And I believe he's coming to take over to lead a certain group of people, which is Judah. And I mean, it's like every time you turn on my TV, I turn on my phone, he's there. And he has not the truth, y'all. What I mean, not that he don't have the truth in him, but he is not speaking spirit and truth. You see what I'm saying? He has no light in his hand. You know, he's speaking that old Baptist preaching. But I'm listening to him, and he said, this is Black History Month. And I'm going to take a trip down to Washington, D.C., I think he said, to the Black History Museum in Washington, D.C. I'm going to take a trip because I heard it's a lot of things that's in there in the museum, the Black History Museum, that I would love to see. Timothy Smith, or was it Timothy Smith? He said they got a whole good article and things laid out regarding him, you know. And he said he's going to take him a trip, and he's going to go to the museum. Now, museum, I have no problem with that. And even if I did, it wouldn't help that, because I do. I can't control that man, and I wouldn't even want to try, even think it. But when I heard him say that, he's preaching to the mass and the multitude, which I think is also he's being pushed by the elites to come out and lead us in another direction. And he is. He's taking them people somewhere way out in the deep sea. But when he said he was going to go to the Black History Museum in Washington, D.C., and he was talking about what all he wanted to look and see, and this is Black history, I'm sitting here listening to him, and you know what came to me, yeah, just out of nowhere? We need, when Black history come up, we want to run and represent and make it something really in our living. We want to look at it as something, which is nothing wrong with that. But what a people who said they have suffered so much, a people who think and feel that they are a special people, a people who think that another race is doing so much to them. Why is it this people are stuck on what you call hardcore stupid? I'm going to tell you exactly what the Spirit said. Mm, 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 mm. When that man said that, it was said to me. Now, I'm not looking at like the cross, I'm looking at the crucifixion. And this is what he said: we need to go back to one place and one place only. And that is the crucifixion. You want to go somewhere for history? He said, yeah. He said, we need to go back to the place of crucifixion. And I get it. Because if we could just go back there, go back. Even if we can't travel there, he's speaking, telling us that if we can just go back to that time period in our spirit or even in our minds, we would think different today. But no, we got to go back to Black history. And the Black history that we go back to is the history that the white man created for us. We didn't have the money to build that museum. What have they ever done for us that is good? So what makes us think that them building a museum in Washington, D.C., you have to know what went on there, and having it as a Black history is showing us, look at all we done to y'all. Y'all still kiss our foot. We're going to put it right in Washington, D.C., so y'all can see how we done you all. See how you see what I'm saying about a people that mentally gone? They just gone. They really gone, y'all. To the point, this pastor got all these multitude in this place and talking about Black history. In the place you should supposed to be, speaking spirit and truth and the light, you rather them go back to what? The world. Go back to what? Materialistic things. Go back to what? Black History Museum. Now, is anything going back there? No, it's nothing wrong with going back there. But if you are a person that says you represent a creator, you need to try to get the people there, not go backwards. Because it's nothing wrong going there. But get the people here first. And then let's peep over on the other side. You ain't preaching and teaching spirit and truth. You have no light in your hand. But yet you want to announce that you're going to take a trip. So everybody else said, well, yeah, I think I'll take a trip, which most of them going to do. That's how they're going to go. And the Father spoke to me just as clear. He said it to me, but as he didn't exclude me. We need to go back to the place of the crucifixion. Woo! Boy, what would happen if we were to unite and just go back there in a class or in a setting that takes us right back to the crucifixion? Guess what, y'all? It'll wake you up. When you come out of there, I can guarantee you light will be in the presence of you, because what he's saying is the Europeans gave us the crucifixion their way, just as they gave us the Black History Museum their way, their history of what they done. And we run in there to learn what they gave us. So what does that say? They're willing to keep reminding us all that they have done and never pay the consequences. We even show y'all what we done to y'all and make it a museum. You see? To me, that just shows the sickness of people as a whole. That's what it shows me. And it's like when he said that to me, all I could think of, yay, Father, that is so powerful. To me, it's powerful. It might not be powerful to you. It's powerful to me for him to even say that. We need to go back to where the crucifixion. Because going to the Black History Museum can't do nothing for us. It didn't do nothing for us when the things that had happened. It can't do nothing for us now. To even go to learn and figure out, or not figure out, go to learn and hear and know. What is it? What can it do for you to know what you didn't know about their Black history? You see how sick people is? All they had to do is call in unity 5 VIPs in the Black community, form together and come together and open up a history, a Black history. But now Judah got to wait for the white man to build them something. Say, now, take y'all tails in there and see what we done to y'all. So the Father said to me, if they need to go back somewhere to see what happened back, they need to go to the place of the crucifixion. Ain't that's what Mount Zion? Ain't we gonna have to cross that when we get to Mount Zion? Come on now. If he's gonna take us, that remnant, out, I wouldn't be surprised that remnant still have to go cross that place in which the Messiah was crucified. Crucifixion. The crucifixion. You see? While we is feeding in everything that they put before us, like we really getting something. And that's that to me, that sign I said, I think I wore you all out about Judah's gone, mentally gone. Now let's go back to Job. The Father taught me so many good things today. He taught me a whole lot of really good things. And let me tell you one thing. He spoke to me today about the United Snakes of America. Now, what I'm about to say to you is going to might make you mad, but on the other hand, I hope that it pour out the light. So at least you can see. If nobody else can see, at least you can see. The Father was explaining to me, because he knows this is another one of those things that I have put before him throughout my living. You know how it's tax season, right? And things like taxes, filling out forms, filling out applications for, let's say, a loan, filling out an application for a house, filling out an application for a car, everything you have to do. The first thing everybody in this country say to you, you got to fill things out right and truthfully. Okay? When it come down to tax season, many, I don't know if y'all ever heard it. I have. That's why I'm going to talk about it. Many times during tax season, you hear pastors in churches speaking on, don't cheat on your taxes. Don't be trying to claim other children that's not yours. Oh yeah, y'all. Throughout my living, that's all during tax season. That's all you hear these pastors making sure they tell their congregation, tell the truth on your taxes. Don't be trying to claim people that's not on your taxes, that's not yours, and don't be doing wrong when it come down to your taxes, and do your taxes right. I sat back and I was told by the Spirit of the Most High Yah regarding the United Snakes of America. And it just it made me wonder, are we really that close? Because I'm like saying those were questions I think I asked in my early motherhood, I would say, you know. And I'm like saying, here it is. He's answering all these questions that I still was patient, wanting him to answer. Did I go to a pastor, a bishop, an evangelist, a prophet, a prophetess? I didn't go nowhere. I still today waited patiently on the one that knows all things. But let me tell you what he was revealing to me. He said, did you ever think that the country you in, they are the biggest murderers, robbers, stealers, destroyers, everything that has to do with law. The one we so stand so, how would I say, toe to toe with, trying to uphold a law to those who created the law, don't hold. They don't uphold what they make the people uphold. How I told y'all a long time ago when I used to do taxes, in my mind, in my mental state, I couldn't understand how is it these people work a whole year. They take Medicare, Social Security, local taxes, federal taxes. They take health care. They take all this right back. As soon as you labor, they take it right back from you. How could this country exist being able to do that? And here it is still standing with their chest out to you. I wish you bust a move. I wish you bust a move. A handful of people ruling 300 million people in this country. Saying to you, I wish you bust a move. So the Father was sharing to me, but Deborah, you remember. He was bringing all that stuff back to my remembrance. And I'm okay. Because I'm looking at Father God, that was years ago. But I felt so good to just hear him just bring it all out. He say, they telling you to make sure you don't lie on your taxes. And they lying on theirs. They telling this country, you kill, we're gonna lock you up, electric chair, and throw away the keys. But they killing. Oh, y'all really gone. Y'all don't even know what's going on in this country. That's why the country is so wicked. Have you heard if the leaders are wicked, those that follow them will be wicked? So when you wonder why is this country the way that it is, it's because those who started it was first wicked. This country was founded, people, on blood. And you walking your tail on a land that was shedding blood to get it. And running around here with a red, white, and blue flag, talking about great old America, make America great again. Make it great in what it did: kill, destroy, rob, steal. Do you know the number one stealer in the whole world is the United States of America? They didn't stole. Let me show you how they stole. Soon as your mother birthed you out, they stole your flesh right. Your mother signed the certificate, the birth certificate, handed to them. Now they own you. How is it This place that they sit here still worshiping, time of great America, make America great again. Great in which area? Evil, wicked, demonic, murder, killing, stealing, destroying, robbing, bombing. Y'all don't even understand the land that you own. That's why I have an issue with people thinking they all that and some own this land. And then the Father said, that's why they act like that, Deborah. Because they liken to the one who stole the land, who killed for the land, who murdered for the land. Don't you know they did that out of greed? They did that out of evil and wicked, demonic. And nobody walking around here just as stupid can be. So what he was sharing with me, but still, they call themselves holding their law. Now you're going to hold their law that they set up for you to hold, and they are the murderers. They're the one that's killing 500 million children, and who is the number one that's killing these children? The land that you own. Honestly, I'm gonna be right with you. When I see it the way the Ruach is teaching me, kill us all. We all need to go to hell. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's how I see it. Because we set our tail on a land and act identical to who they are. And you wonder why the poor man on the streets. Woo! Oh, I'm gonna go there. You why the one to go down and you see in every state downtown, the homeless is out there. Even those who fought the war for this country is out in the streets homeless. They all out in the streets homeless. But this country, great old America, let's make America great again. How are you sending somebody out of a country that you killed everybody in it to get it? He went on and telling me about the law that these people in this country is upholding is the law of those one that murdered to get it, stole to get it, destroyed to get it, steal to hold it. Who are they stealing from? You. When I did those taxes, y'all, I'm telling you, I was a young person and that frustrated me. I'm sitting here saying, wait a minute, baby, they've been taking your money all year long, and here they've been take it all at the end of the year, what they took out. Not what they took out because they said they didn't take enough out. Do y'all understand this country feels that one person to live in this country 1 year? Let me show y'all something that you don't know. This country set up this protocol. If you are one individual on this earth and you only one, they feel that $900 is enough for you to, not 900, $9,000 is enough. And that's all they look for you to make a year. $9,000. Don't talk to me, y'all. You're talking to somebody who do accounting. Don't talk to me. Don't say nothing to me. You ain't got nothing to say to me. But the honest truth, I'm going to put it all on the line. If I was the father, if I was, you bet I'm not, but you better hope, you better be glad that I ain't. Even me, we all need to go to hell. I'm going to tell it like it is. We all need to go to hell. Because when he explained to me, Deborah, they holding you all up on the law. How could they hold you up on the law and they breaking every law against the law that they holding y'all up on? How could that be? And I'm just hurting. It's like what I tell y'all. He said, Deborah, bring the light out of the midst of darkness. And that's what he's doing. He's helping me with understanding this darkness at the highest level that it has been. So here he's saying, we keep the law of the murderers, of the destroyers, of those who kill, rape, pedophile, murdered, eat organs, steal organs, kill babies, rape animals, take from other countries' oil, take other countries' land, taking their babies, feeding y'all chemicals, feeding you poison for medication, making you pay even after you get old. You study paying what they took out your whole life. You're still paying back in it with your retirement. If that's not a clear picture for a prophetess in the wilderness, can't nobody tell me he didn't school me today. All of that I just said to you all that they do, they've been doing it before this land was here. These is people called the Europeans. And we keep allowing them to escape, thinking there's some hope for them. Only the ones that Yah has grafted in. Outside of that, ain't no hope for them. Ain't no hope for them. So I'm sitting here listening to the Father. He said, we uphold and keep everything that they keep not. Ooh! And I'm like saying, oh, Father. So let me tell you what he's saying. He say, so we are also in them and they are in us. We are the product of who they are because we uphold their wicked ways, their abomination. Want me to show you an example? Look at Epstein. They hand them first many papers, second 300 papers, and nobody been arrested. Everybody name in it. Ain't nobody calling nobody out. You see, it's a distraction. They rule, whether y'all know that or not. You know how they ruled? Because we as the people gave them the power. We put crowns on their head. We bow down to their laws. And we crown them to rule us under their wicked, satanic, murdering, killing, destroying, stealing, robbing the whole world. We in the United States of America played the number one participant in the ways of this country. And you think he ain't gonna bring your tail down? Go on. This is why the level of greed is so high. It's the same greed of those that you uphold law. These people is just a handful, and they have ruled the world from this land and from Europe and from Italy. But when you measure who they are, they stone cold Europeans. And then they sit their tails and say, make America great again, you stupid fools. They don't need to make America great again. America is great because you made them great. You crown them with crowns. Even though they've been pedophiles before this land was here. Even though they've been murderers before they took on this land. Even though they've been organ stealing organs before this land was here. They've been messing with little boys and little girls before this land was here. But how they got so big is because your tail is here, keeping and upholding their law, so they can rule you from that wicked power. And I'm sitting around trying to figure out, why is it this country? Okay, what did I learn? This is Satan's territory. His seat is here. This is his synagogue. I do know that. I do know that. Without a doubt. I've been knowing that. I mean, in the last couple of years. But this here is the why they are who they are. But they couldn't have done it without you. And what happens? You wonder why Yah has not destroyed them. If Yah were to come and destroy each and every last one of them, that'd be the worst thing to do. If the Most High were to come down to the United States and kill Satan, destroy his seat, destroy his residence, if he was to kill each and every last one of those who rule this country, if he was to kill them all, it wouldn't even be worth it. You know why? You became who they are. You have become who they are. So to destroy them, for the Father come this day and destroy them, it wouldn't be worth the dime. Because you still here. That's what he's teaching me today. That's what he taught me today. It all makes sense. You can't even make it make sense to you, because it all makes sense in the eyes of the Most High God. He made it make sense to me. Or these things that I asked him about when I was like, I said like 32 and 33, 34. Oh, baby, these stuff I asked. I said, well, wait a minute. What? These are the things. And then here it is. He telling me this morning. Ooh, wait. Now watch this. He says, and they would tell people to make sure they pay their taxes. Make sure you pay your taxes. Or we're raising taxes. We're raising food. We're raising, they didn't raise stuff up on your tail. That's robbing and stealing from you. At the same time, what are they doing? They're poisoning you with pharmaceutical. They knew that medicine don't work, but they poisoning us. How? They destroying our inside. Someone just came up and said it's one of those guys that been with Epstein, which they say he been with him since the beginning. He's an old man now. He had in the files, somewhere in the files, that Epstein said what he wanted to do was make sure that in that COVID shot, that his DNA would be in every individual in the United States of America. See, y'all, people in this country, when I said to you, are the dumbest, foolish, ignorant people on the face of the earth, I meant that. Because they have no idea that Yah is not going to allow them to exist. All because they are 100% participating, even I, even you, in what they have done. We gave them the crown. We put the crown on their head. We bowed down. We gave them everything they needed to gain the power that they have. That's why they can eat flesh. That's why they're eating flesh. That's why they're looking younger. A lot of y'all didn't know nothing about all that. But I go back to is it this video and the other one? I think I told y'all about it. And that was last year, probably the beginning of last year. I was telling you all that these people are actually eating humans. How did they get away with it? Why would they be so y'all, they are the dark of the darkest in evil and in weakness. But how did they get there? You. So this is another reason why people have this mindset to be just like them. That's why people act the way that they act. It's a carbon copy of those who's over us, who's leading us, who's guiding us, and have been since this country exists. So when you hear the mega people, let's make America great again, look how ignorant they are. They don't know what made America great. Because if they did, they'll know what I'm talking about right now. And they don't. 1 minute. Okay, so let's make America great again. What kind of rats behind is that? You done made them great at the highest level of evil. They can't even do no more. Did y'all know they at a standstill? Their evil can't even move any higher. Do y'all know that? Their evil cannot even go up another level. But yours can. And that's what it's doing. Their evil is reached the max, y'all. That's why they showing you everything they doing. It's all in the opening. Everything's all in the look. Yeah, we was pedophile. We had islands. Yeah, we chased people in the forest. We killed kids. We ate kids. Yeah, and what y'all gonna do about it? Everything darkness has done, it has revealed it to the people, and the people still sitting here saying, "Great old America, let's make America great again." They running around here with racial wars and black and white, especially the Europeans. This racial mess. I don't want them around me. Yeah, we can clean your tail. We can feed your tail. How do you think you're going to survive if you had to go somewhere and we have to take care of your tail in the hospital? You sick people. When it all said and done, the ones that's sicker have children. And that's this country. I put us all in that same pot. I ain't going to say, give me a big pot, Father, y'all. I put us all in there, and I clam in there. I'll be the first one clam in there. Because when it all said and done, we all continue to participate in it with our eyes wide open. And see, that's how you know that mercy and grace was always there. Because since this country, right now, today, I'm sure you can see. Now, y'all ain't gonna see it because you figure they ain't chewing out. You ain't worried about it. These children, these black men is being lynched. So in all that mess, it ain't that they started it. They've been doing it. All these sundown towns. And you sitting here talking about, oh, great old America. Not saying a word. And you're going to tell me I need to go to a Black History Museum in Washington, D.C., you stupid fools. Why ain't you going to the place where they've been lynching these black men? Take your tail to the tree. Bow down and pray at the tree that the Father will bring them down. You ain't going to do that, are you? But you want to go to the museum because they made you a museum for Black history, and you taking your stupid tails talking about Black history. When you was Black first and foremost, why do we have to answer to that nonsense? Because we are sick. We're the next in line to them. They are the first sick, and we right behind them. Judah, we right behind them. Hey, we behind y'all. And we sitting around here talking about we waiting to go to Mount Zion. Sit your tails down. Your tail in Mount Zion. You just don't know it. this is where he gonna take you, right where you at. Because people support mess like that. And support it with a smile on their face. Why do you think all these people, and I'm sitting here, I said, I didn't even know that many people still thumbs up for Donald Trump. Do y'all see what he just did to the retirement, Social Security, and Medicare? Did y'all not see what he just did? He's flipping it straight to AI so that no matter what go on, when AI messes it up, so what? Closing locations so these seniors can't touch base with nobody. These seniors can't communicate regarding their retirement or regarding their Medicare or their Medicare. See the sick country? See what they, every time they do something to this, the people in this country, start licking their feet. So Sister Deborah, Father, thank you for your revelation in it all. But we all need to go to hell. Tell you the truth, we all need to go there and bust it wide open. We all need to go there. Because the mindset of people, and I be wondering, I said, Father, how is it that all these things you giving me, I'm giving to these people, and they looking at me all cockeyed. He said, Deborah, because their eyes is already cocked. They don't have no other way but to look cocked. And I said, but that don't make no sense. Leave them there. Get in the lane. Now, all this stuff that they've been doing, he was explaining to me, he said, Deborah, the people in this country is participant. They are partaker. That's why they quick to go under the umbrella of Catholics and the umbrella of Christians, because they think they're hiding. They know that these people have killed, steal, murdered. Now, watch this. He said, now, you see how in these Epstein files, it told all the nasty things they have ever done that has to do with darkness. It revealed all the heavy darkness. Can it get any worse than that, Deborah? And I'm like saying to the Father, that's some heavy darkness. I don't even know if it can get that darkness. How can it get any darker than people eating people? People eating babies. People taking babies' organs. People sex trafficking little girls and little boys. They all the way down to 9, 3, and 4, and 5 years old. But we know what they've been doing all over in the Middle East. All of them get it from. This is what he said. Home base. Home base, Satan's residence. Satan's seat here in this country. Other countries all in it, they're all in it. But this is home ground. This is ground here. So to me, when I'm looking at the standpoint, and the Father only talks to me like that, and he commune with me, he don't never come to me when I'm asking these things, but he's always coming, even if it's years later, or even a year, 7 months, 10 years, he always come back and tell me, you remember what you asked me then? You know what? Yeshua said that when the Comforter comes with power, it's going to teach you all things, bring, go back and read it, bring all things back to your remembrance. I hold firm to that, because that's one thing I know. That's one of the signs I know that I have the Holy Spirit. He forever taking me back. Come on here, let's go. Come on, let's go. We're going back. Let's go. Book it up. Let's go. He forever taking me back and bringing me forward. So I know that is true. A true fact that the Ruach HaKodesh will bring things back to your remembrance. He'll take me all the way back. Just to bring me up into today. So he shared with me, because here it is, tax season. And he said, they rob the people with taxes. They rob the people with Medicare. They rob the people with Social Security. They rob the people with health care. They rob the people in food. They're feeding them food that they poison them with. And you're going to sit and tell me this country is great. You see how sick people are? They're poisoning your food. And then got other pharmaceuticals. So when they start poisoning your food and you got sickness, oh, come here, we'll give you some medication for that to even help your organs out inside. Only country do that. That's why this country is the only country that don't give free health care. This is the only country that pours out the taxes on their people. But look, let me show you how sick the people are. But y'all sick tails here and call it great old America. Because they robbing you. They killing your children. Pedophiles, murderers. They bringing people from all over the countries into this land that plays that same pedophile, that plays that same murdering and killing and stealing. Look at these here Indians, this bargo. They sit here saying push Mexicans and other people out. They brought them in just to push them out. Why? Because they want to bring them in so they can get the military set up to destroy the people here in this country. So those same one that you support to be great, the end goal is to kill you in your greatness for them. You think COVID was, they were trying to take you out. What he put in that big, beautiful bill was coming to bring the country into famine. Oh, most people don't see themselves. Hey, I ain't gonna be able to fall in there. I got too much going on. I got this going on. That's why I said, Yah is gonna let them do what they do best. Now, he ain't gonna let them keep going into darkness. Because you know why? Let me tell you what the Spirit is saying. The level of darkness that's on this land can't get no higher than it is. That means you got your tail down here in the dark of the darkness, calling your tail to be the light, and wondering, and saying, and not including yourself when you in there, thinking you not in there. Yeah, you in there. That's why everything that they do, you participate in it. You okay it. I heard 2 different pastors teaching, and they talked about everything and how they can support. And I sit here doing my hair today, and I said, Father, not one said anything about the fatherless, the orphanage, nor the widows. He said, why would they? If I say left, they're going to go right. They're going in every area outside of the way Yah has orchestrated. And I'm like, that's about right. Because that's the way I felt. I feel it. I feel it to be that way. So here it is. He said that all the things that they're doing, at the same time, they're practicing the highest level and they're wobbling in it, and they now putting it all out there. You know why they putting it out there, y'all? You know why they putting their darkness out there in your face? Because they have gotten the victory. I try to tell y'all. See, and when I get on here and try to tell y'all that Satan has fully deceived the whole world, people will probably look at me cockeyed. I ain't gonna say probably, they do. Oh, that old woman, she don't know nothing. Yeah, I sure don't. Because I even thought about my mother. I've been doing a couple of things for her the last 2 days. And I thought about her, and I was in the mirror, and I was just thinking about my mom, and I thought, it really wasn't my thought. Let me just go on and tell the truth. He said, it's not you as her daughter she's going to be judged on. she's going to be judged based on you being my servant. Woo! Am I clapping because my mother going to be judged? No. I'm clapping because I knew that. And I'm clapping because Father already had instilled that in me. Not because of my mother, even your butts. Because people on this earth really believe that the Father don't have no rams in the bush. That's the same thing that happened to Yeshua. When he came on the scene, they said, you blasphemy. You can't be who you say you are. You ain't the Christ. They killed him for something you today still don't know why. Isn't that sad? I think it's sad. That's why I say, if the Father had to send all of us to hell, I'm with him with anything he does. I'm all with it. Because from what I can see from the wilderness, we all need to be in hell. Burning eternal. Burning up eternal. Because the only thing about all this stuff is I can't even look out and see anything that represents light. That's all I see is darkness. So he shared with me it's at the highest. It can't go no higher. I said, I don't think it can either, Father, if they're eating children. He said, but Deborah, they've been doing that for thousands of years. They know what they've been doing. They just at the highest. They can't go no higher than where they at. That's why they showing everything and letting y'all see everything. That's why they out here freely letting you see everything that they doing. It was a time where they'll show us a movie here, maybe a couple of movies out during the year. No. Everything is all clearly seen. And while all is clearly seen, y'all got y'all tails out there. Woo! We got to follow the law. We got to follow everything they say and everything they do. The Father is like this. Following the law and following their wicked. He's saying you in your heart. See, that's what people don't mess up at. The Father is not saying you're following the law and you don't have no other choice. He said it's in your heart that you see what they do to be righteous. But when I send my servant, you see her to be unrighteous, but you see them to be righteous. They're robbing you and you freely give it. I'm feeding you from the spiritual end, and now you're trying to curse the one I sent you. This is how sick we are. Knowingly. And we run around here, I'm awakened. We want so much power over people. People want power over people. They don't want to do nothing unless they got the power over you. That's the Rothschilds and all of the elites. It's all about having full power. And to have the power that they have, it's the highest level of darkness. And then I come on here and I try to tell y'all, wait a minute, ain't nobody saying it, ain't nobody teaching, ain't nobody on these platforms preaching, ain't nobody doing anything. Then they pull up on me. Why are they pulling up on me? Because you ain't afraid to tell the people, but you'd be the one they try to curse. Oh yeah, you about right. You see how sick that is? Oh, they take all this that they take it every year. When I used to do people taxes, I said, wait a minute, you took from this man all this money all this year, you finna take you finna charge him some more? How could they do that? I used to wonder about that. But after I started doing taxes and doing business taxes and stuff, I said, forget it. These people got this set up like this. But this everything. I sat back and watched those same elites put in act to take all your, I'm paper, money, and control it with AI and digital gonna pull up, because digital and AI come hand in hand. I see everything now has flipped over to AI, even though everybody got their eyes all cocked somewhere else trying to talk negative about other people. But here it is, they praise this high level of darkness in what they doing. Oh, you can't see them robbing you. You can't see them taking your money. You can't see them robbing you through Medicare. You can't see them robbing you through Social Security. You can't see them robbing you through local taxes, federal taxes, healthcare, pharmaceuticals. How many of you got medicine you got to go get tomorrow? Robbing you on the left and robbing you on the right, and you can't see that darkness. But you will stand on here and have the audacity to think that somebody like me would want something from you. Y'all don't own it no way. The darkness that got you locked up own it. You don't even own it. The darkness that got you lined up own everything you got. That's what I meant when I said the Father is going to allow that to be taken from you. Y'all thought I was just talking. Wait up. And I might not be on this platform when it happened. But when it happened, all y'all going to think about is me. Oh, yeah. All my living, even when I was a little girl, ain't nothing I have said that has not came to pass. I'm a living testimony of that. Too much wicked in the world. Too much greed. And everything they have done was done based on greed. And that's how the mindsets of people are today. And the Father said, Deborah, but they're not greed in their hands. They're greed in their hearts. They're greed in their minds. Okay, I get you. He said they even would try to use him to erase the greed that they have within them. But he has no part in it. People are identical to the same. So from what that means to me is I can't talk about the dark. I can't even talk about Satan now. For what? Because what the Father is saying is that the same thing they have done, they have taught the people to do. You think these people ain't out here hanging people on a tree for nothing? You think these brothers out here ain't out here killing their wives and their children, their mothers and their fathers, and too stupid to realize that's your sperm you killing, bro? They never understood. Judith never understood that the sperms that you killing and the wife that you're hating, these come from men. So when you kill a woman, you killing sperms of a man, something that belongs to a man. You see how sick people are? Everything everybody is doing. I sat back and I said, how can there be? And that answered the question. Pretty much what he was saying answered the question. Because I was saying, Father, how can I woke up early this morning? I said, how could that be that all of this type of murdering and killing is just as simple? It's like, okay, it's like me taking this here. Watch this here. Drinking water is how simple it is for people to kill and take their lives, not the lives, but the living, the breath, not the breath, but the flesh out of people. Never ever to be seen or be able to talk or communicate ever again. And it's not nothing in them. It's moved by. And this world standing around in this country, standing around. The Father said they are more participant than the evil itself. Because the evil got to the level of where it is at. Because of the people. Same thing I said about Satan years ago. Satan was able to deceive the people through the people. He couldn't have done it. And the Father is now letting me know that darkness can't get no darker than it is. I was saying to the Father, well, how can it? They out showing you everything they done done. This Billy Carson having audacity to now break out and say all kinds of things. And guess why he said it, y'all? Something I didn't know, but he said he got 2 daughters. And one of his daughters almost got trapped in it. And from that day on, and he said it's been years, he's been on them, Epstein them, ever since. He said he's been writing books and everything about it. He's been trying to tell people about it. And he breaking that down. And boy, he took it all the way back. And when he took it back, I said, Billy Carson is not something don't know nothing about no word. Nothing. Yes, he's a scholar. Yes, he's a known scholar for the world. But you know what? This brother was talking. And when he was talking, he was telling on all of them. I'm serious. But the thing about it, it took him, his daughter, to be caught in something like what Epstein was doing. And at that time, he said he's been doing his search. That was way back, he said. And I'm like saying, so you knew they was doing that way back? He went on to tell him, yes, they've been doing that. And he don't need to tell me either. Because the simple thing, he went on to tell the lady, but even in every Quran, in every Bible, in everywhere, way back, not the Bible, but he said in the biblical, way back in the ancient time, in Egypt time, he said the stuff that they doing today, they've been doing it. It's just at the highest degree today. See, I told you it's been there. And so just imagine United Snakes being like that. But see, what the Father is saying to me, Satan made this his residence. So if Satan made this his residence, it had to be the worst of the worst. And we sit in our tail where? In the land of the worst of the worst. Never realizing that this is a land called Babylon that's going to be thrown down. But what do? We sit here like it's okay. You know what people doing? They have grown into it and have made it something that it is not. It's dark of dark, and they in dark of dark, but they studied saying, oh, nah, I'm going to make sure I do this, and I have this, and I have, because this is where they're going to remain. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. They're going to remain their tails right here where they building up at. See, because Yah, you thinking Yah is looking at your actions of your flesh. No, baby. Yah didn't check that heart. That's what he's going to measure. See, that's what a lot of people don't know. They think that they going to pull one over his eyes. No, you ain't. You ain't pulling nothing over his eyes. If like this, like the man was saying, they've been doing that since biblical time. You know what? That is 100% true. Who let them? Who allowed them to do this all the way from that time to now? Who allowed it? See, you thinking you doing something overstepping, you big dog, and you all this and you all that. You ain't going over anything because y'all still gonna measure your heart. He still gonna see and go by what he know already of you. So the clowning on the earth and trying to portray that you all this and all that, he ain't going by that. He don't go by nothing that has to do with you. That's not how he rumbles. Okay? So when I wanted to put that one out because he was breaking it all down to me because he started talking about the taxes and I knew I have to do taxes and I'm going to start on that Monday. And every time tax season come, I just do not like tax season. I don't like it. I don't like it because it really does. It brings me down. It really brings me down because it's just like, I know that they're robbing the people. I know that it's not no just and no righteous, no nothing in it. But you couldn't tell these people that. I sit back and watch people get so content with all the darkness. They don't see nothing wrong with the all-seeing eye. They don't see nothing wrong with the Rothschilds and all of them. The Clintons and all, they don't see nothing. Nothing. That's because they have become them. And that's what the Father is saying. So if they think that I'm coming to get all of them, no. I'm coming to get my remnant. Why is he just coming to get his remnant? Because his remnant sees things for what it is. In their heart and in their mind. They see darkness. They call darkness what it is. Can they change darkness? No. But they see it within them. And they not holding back. Can they change it? No. And that's why, and I keep saying that, and y'all heard me say that too many times. Why is it everybody seems like it's okay? And I'm like saying, the Father's telling me now, right now, it's because, Deborah, the level of darkness is at its peak. It can't go no higher. So what happens? He got to bring it down. It can't go no higher. But he allowed me to know today what I knew years ago, that the people played a partaker in those who are wicked and rule this country. You played a partaker in it. And when I turned around tonight, because I had to go, not tonight, around by 6, I had to go make a run. And I heard that Carson guy talking. And he was saying the reason why they got like that is because we participated in it. In his sick mind, if we stop participating and start going up against, then we can do something. You can't do a rat's behind. The Father said the darkness is at its highest. That means it's going to stay there until y'all pull up and pull out. That's why he's getting his out. Darkness, too dark. He's going to pull them out. Okay, so I want to go to the Gospel of John. I'm going to reveal some things to you all that you never knew. And it's going to feel good. It's going to feel really, really good. Mm-hmm. In the book of Job, he said, 14 and verse 4, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? That should have been a topic they should have preached at least 10 things, probably 10 times at every place of worship a year, at least 10 times. Let's not say every month. That should have been the topic. Who can bring a clean thing out of a unclean? And then it says, not one. It's letting you know that man does not have the power to bring clean nothing that's unclean. You don't have the power. I know you got it though, don't you? I forgot you sure got it. Okay, but the truth be told, you can't bring a clean thing out of an unclean. That means out of the flesh. Remember I said when the child is born, he's born in the flesh, sin and iniquity. Okay? But when he get that breath of life, that's when he has living. He has his own spirit through the breath that the Father give him. He gives him his own spirit and he gives him truth. Now what? He's ready for judgment. See how sick people are? They don't get that. He ain't ready for judgment if he don't receive truth and his own spirit. That's what Yeshua was telling Peter. It would have been better had not Judas had even been born. See, if you're not born, if Judas wasn't born, he wouldn't have received the breath and truth. But when you come onto this earth and you receive one breath, I only have my testimony is me having even children that couldn't even hold the breath. Machines were holding them. So I know what I'm talking about. I don't even have to, I'm to the point where I don't even need to anymore. Like what the Father was teaching me today, you don't need to be trying to clarify and justify nothing. You are a living testimony. You see? So I'm like saying, that's going back to that truth. So here it is. A lot of people really don't understand that a woman having a child, she's transferring the man's sperm, incubating it, nourishing it, eating and using her oxygen and everything in her to keep it alive, okay? To keep it moving. It ain't alive until it has received the breath of Yeah. Okay. And that breath come with truth. Those two opponents put you in one book or the other. So what, you 2 days old? Say for instance, if you 10 hours, I don't care. He gave you his breath for those 10 hours. And that breath slung in a spirit and truth. So those 10 hours you came to the earth, you are either going to be in one book or the other. Because y'all see, what you don't understand is this. He's not judging you based on the hours you've been here. He's not judging you on how you come onto YouTube and listen to Sister Deborah, or you go to church for 100 years, or you go to this here YouTuber and you go over here to this YouTuber and you're running all over the place because you're lost. You was lost from the beginning, you're still lost, and you're still running to find yourself. That's why you're still lost. No matter where you go, it is not going to put you nowhere that the Father don't already have you. That child born 10 hours, 10 lousy hours is already written. Why? Because he got the breath and he got truth blown in him. And the breath gave him a spirit and it gave him truth. Y'all gonna judge him based on where he had him, not where he is on the earth. Hello. So when you hear Sister Deborah telling y'all, stop the clowning, because you're clowning down here. It's no way I'm going to be on this earth clowning, and he got me already written. So why I'm down here clowning? Why I'm down here acting a fool when he got me written for eternal? It's because no fear of who got you written. No fear of you ain't even got no fear where he got you written to. Eternal. That's another thing. They don't care. It don't bother them. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't even bother nobody. Only those that are of the light. It don't even bother them because they know where they're going. You see? So here, he was talking in Job about who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean one. And then he took me somewhere that I wasn't really prepared to go, but I'm ready, Father, y'all. Wherever you take me, I'm with you. You know, because I know he ain't gonna leave me out there. That's for one thing. So he wanted me to say also, Job 14 and verse 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? No, not one. Job said it. Not one. Now watch this. Not even truth that comes with our spirit that he blow into us. Not even truth that rests within one can bring clean out of an unclean. That truth can't bring clean out of unclean. You see? Can't do it. So he says, notice truth within everyone. But notice, Deborah, they hold it. They hold it in their self-centered, their ego, their pride, their boasting, their ungodliness, their unrighteousness. So many things that we are holding the truth that's in us, all kind of ways. Why? Why are we holding the truth that's in us all kind of ways? Because of flesh. Flesh. We let flesh have its way. And we want to look at the Father more cockeyed than you look at me. Because that's what he told me. If they're going to look at you cockeyed, they had to have looked at me. So that's what I'm starting to understand, you know, and it's the truth. So here it is. He's saying, even though truth is within, they're holding it, upholding it through all other wickedness. but still yet holding it. They're holding it where? In their spirit. Are they using it? No. That's what he's talking about. They letting their flesh use the way they walk, they talk, they act, they think, they function, they communicate. That's why why wouldn't you think that if everybody had truth, why wouldn't all those who are of the light come together? Because truth, first and foremost, was in us. And if the light is in us, we come together, because everybody said they are the light or not the light. Everybody that said that they are spirit and truth or not of spirit and truth. That's why there's no unity. Because people are being about each its own. And what is that attached to? Flesh. That's why no one knows or have any idea that truth came with them, because their flesh is ruling. Their flesh is ruling. Now, the example was, he took me here. He said, let's go to Genesis chapter 4 and verse 25. Now, this is deep, y'all. This is real deep. This is deep. He took me to Genesis chapter 4 and verse 25. Now watch this. Yah planted a seed of hope in the spirit DNA of Seth. Yah planted a seed of hope in the spirit DNA of Seth. It is going to show y'all that you can walk around here and say everything you want out your flesh. It don't mean the rat's behind to nobody, not even to the eye. Because he's measuring, like he said, that spiritual heart, that spiritual mind. And people are not using their spiritual heart. They're not using their spiritual mind. They're using their flesh heart and their flesh mind to do everything according to their flesh. They're not working their spirit at all. They don't feel they have to. They want to rule from the flesh in. So watch what he said. Genesis chapter 4 and verse 25. Listen to this. And Adam, listen to this, you guys. And I'm going to ask a question. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask two. And I'm just going to ask it to kind of give you a little feel of what home is like. Okay? Okay. Genesis chapter 4, verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. I think it's Seth. For Yah said, she, have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. Let's work on that for a minute. Now I'm going to take y'all there. I'm taking you there because he took me there and he said, give him that. How about that? So I'm going to give it to you. Okay. So here I said, Yah planted a seed of hope. You hear that? Go that hope. What is hope? One of the brands. Okay. Yah planted a seed of hope in the spirit DNA of Seth. Okay. The spirit DNA of Seth. Okay. On my other channel, I know there's at least about 100 videos speaking about the spiritual DNA versus the flesh DNA. Two total different entities. They serve two total different purposes. We have the spiritual seed and we have the flesh seed. But a lot of times people don't understand when he's talking about the blood, he's talking about the blood as like the world called DNA. He's talking about it either in the line of the flesh or the bloodline of the spirit. 99.15 trillion have no idea which one is which. They have no spiritual understanding at all. This is mentally, seriously cut off. Cut off from what? Light. Cut off from what? Spirit and truth. This too is the Father's will. So here I say, Yah planted a seed of hope in the spirit DNA of Seth. Now here we go. Verse 25, Genesis chapter 4, verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For she said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. What does it mean when it says, said she? Anybody know? Verse 25. What does it mean when it says, for Yah said she? Anybody in the live, if you can answer that. Most people probably won't even have their study guide before them. Okay? So I'm going to read it again. It says, for Yah said, it says, for Yah, stop. She said, have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, who Cain slew. She understood. What is it she understood? What is it that she understood? What is it she understood? That Abel was a spiritual seed. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. And Yah said, and Yah comment, said she, have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, who Cain slew. Okay. Abel was a spiritual seed. Okay. Seth took his place. Okay. Okay. I got you. I think I really appreciate you giving me that and helping me out, because what you're doing is just going to help me kind of bring this out. And I'm looking at it myself, being so you're the only one that respond. You the only one probably do have it as close as you know you can understand it. Okay. And that's a beautiful thing, because it lets me know that's who it's for. What I'm about to break down is for you. Okay. This is for you. Okay. And Seth took his place. Okay. Notice you said Seth took his place. Now, this is the example I was explaining, and I realized the reason why the Father is saying to me that it's not important that I shine the light in the midst of darkness, that people get it. You see what I'm saying? It makes a lot of sense, because a lot of people that's sitting in darkness ain't looking for the light. You get what I'm saying? And for you to respond, that leads me to see the worth in bringing the light out of something that has been a mystery. Okay. Throughout my whole living, everybody that preaches in this area has had it wrong. Okay. They have had it wrong because they thought that Seth was a man. I won't say out of, they thought that he was the man of Yah. Okay. And he wasn't. He wasn't. Okay. But the world and the scholars and the teachers and the pastors and the bishops and the priests and the evangelists and the pope, they all the prophetess, the seers, the watchmen, all of them. And this is the reason why I look back at my living and I wonder, what must one do with all the food that the Father continue to feed us? Now, I'm going to share something with you, and I'm very excited. This is for you, okay? When you see verse 25, I hope you have a pencil and a piece of paper, because you're going to write this down, and you can probably climb on top of it better than I can, which would be wonderful. Here in Genesis chapter 4, verse 25, I want you to hear this. And Adam knew his wife again. Okay? Adam knew his wife again. Okay? Stop there and go to Genesis chapter 4, stay in 4, and see verse 2. You see verse 2? Genesis chapter 4 and verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tilter of the ground. Now we're going to go back up to the first one. Chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve. Do you see how Adam had sex to have Cain? Adam and Eve had what? Sex to have Cain. But when you get to 2, Adam didn't know Eve to have Abel. Okay? Now let's go back to Genesis chapter 4, verse 25. Here we go again. Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. So Seth is not the spiritual seed, because he did what? Adam knew Eve, and they bare Seth. The same way Adam knew Eve in chapter 4, verse 1. Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived. When a man knoweth his wife, and watch this, in this sense, Eve spoke of Seth the way she spoke of Cain. To her, Yah is blessing her with a son. Look at Genesis chapter 4. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, woo! She said the same thing, and said, I have gotten a man from Yah. Now go back to verse 25, chapter 4 and verse 25. Adam and Eve, same thing, knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. For she said the same thing she said when she had Cain. Bam! She said the same thing with Seth. Okay? For Yah said, no, it says, for Yah said she. Yah didn't say that. Yah never told her that. But we rather believe the flesh than the Father. We would rather believe the flesh than the Father. Throughout my living as a teenager, I used to teach people that Abel wasn't born by Adam having sex with Eve. He was a spiritual seed that Yah allowed to be the example of the two seeds at battle on the earth, the way he was designing it, the way he had brought it down as far as a spiritual seed and a serpent seed. That's where it started with the first two sons. You see? Here in 25, the whole world, y'all. That's why I said this is for you. The whole world would believe that Seth was taking the place of of Abel. Seth was taking the place of Abel. No, he wasn't. He was not taking the place of Abel because she said it. Woo! You see how deep that is? You see how easy it is to manipulate the flesh of men and women. Yah did not say that. Yah did not say that. It sat there and told you, for God, it said here, so say for Yah, said she. If you have a King James Bible or King James 16, you're going to notice it's slanted. What's slanted? Said she. Because the mystery of the spirit, when you see a slanted word, it wants you to see the spiritual contents of what is being said. He will slant one word and I have to stop. Why? Because I got to focus on that one word that he allowed to be in there, because that's his power that's doing that. Slanting them words. That's not man, y'all. Oh, I thought I taught that before, but that's not man slanting those words. Okay, so here you see where said she have appointed me another seed. When she said another seed, she was speaking of flesh. That was not the seed of the spirit. That was the seed of the flesh. Watch this. And this is where I think it's really sad. Watch this. And she said, and it was said, we still in 25, for Yah said she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, who Cain slew. Okay, now here go the power. Here go the power coming now, y'all. It's on its way. Verse 26. And to Seth, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son. Listen to what it said. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son. Now you about to see the real spiritual one, the spiritual seed. It was the son of Seth that was the spiritual seed. Eve said the same thing for Seth as she said for Cain. Identical. But did she say the same thing for for Abel? No. But she said the same thing that she said for Cain, she said for Seth. Now watch this here. Now you get to verse 26. There go the mystery sitting right looking at you. The mystery is sitting there looking at you. And Seth, to him, woo! there was born a son. Now watch this here. And he called his name Enos. Enos. Then, and only then, when Enos began, man to call upon the name of Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. Enos was the spiritual seed. Enos was the spiritual seed. Listen to what it says. It's telling you right there. And to Seth, in verse 26, to him also there was born a son. And he called his name Enos. Then, and then only, and then began man to call on upon the name of Yah. All these years that these Bibles been here, I've told y'all over and over, they can teach you anything. Look how they got these Negroes going over there to the museum. Any museum that the Europeans built, we should never go into it, because the same one built a building so your dumb tail can go in it to see what they done to you. Shows you that you gonna tell me that ain't showing you sick? I don't know what will. If that don't teach you how sick you are, I don't know what could or will. But then you look at me all cockeyed, like something wrong with me. Okay? Keep looking cockeyed. Pretty soon, your eyes gonna be cocked eternal. Okay? Now, what I'm trying to say is this. And I wanted to give that to you because, like I say, everything is not for everybody. You see? At that point, everybody should have been able to look at it and have something to say, but they can't because it's not in them. You get what I'm saying? So you see how narrow the gate is. When spirit and truth is spoken with the light, then that's when the spirit of whatever of Yah is in individuals, they should be able to respond. Why? Because spirit is now revealing bright lightness on something that been taught ever since this Bible exists the wrong way. Now I'm gonna help you a little bit more than that. Watch this here. So right then, it wasn't set. Okay. Now we must go to Genesis chapter 5 and verse 3. In Genesis chapter 5 and verse 3, let me get there. In Genesis, wait a minute. In Genesis chapter 5, there it is. I'm sorry. In verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness and after his image, and called his name Seth. See? Do you see that? Y'all don't get it, do you? That's how the anointing is. It wants you to see. Look how Eve claimed Seth. Listen to how she did it. Adam and Eve knew his wife again, and she buried a son and called his name Seth. For God said she has appointed me another seed of instead of Abel, which Cain slew. Y'all didn't tell her that. Y'all didn't tell her that. She told herself. Just like she said in Genesis chapter 4. Verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived. Now watch this here. And buried Cain. And what did she do? She said, I have gotten a man from Yah. She's saying the same thing with Seth. But when you look at it, you can see that he wasn't the one. He wasn't the spiritual seed, you people. So when you get to Genesis chapter 5 and verse 3, now you finna see how he was not who Abel was at all. Why? Watch this. In Genesis chapter 5 and verse 3, and Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness, and after his image, and called his name Seth. You see how he claimed his son seed. His son Seth was not the spiritual seed, but in him was Enos. He was the spiritual seed. You see that? He was the spiritual seed. Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, he was the spiritual seed. You will not. Oh, Father, thank you so much. Thank you for so much, Father Yah. You will not see where Seth knew his wife and had Enos. You won't see it. He begot, like Eve begot Abel, but he did not. Where is it saying in here that Seth knew his wife and brought forth Enos? You won't see it, but you're going to see he begot sons and daughters. And at the age, verse 6, and Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. But you don't see him knew his wife and had Enos. Just like you didn't see Adam knew Eve to have Abel. So it was Enos, not Seth. Seth is identified as a seed that Yah gave Eve, a seed that Yah gave Adam out of his own likeness and out of his own image. So he's letting you know for sure, Seth wasn't the spiritual seed, people. It was Enos. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But guess what? When you see 26 and it says, and to Seth, to him also there was born a son. Why didn't they tell you he knew his wife and had a son? No. And Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then, and only then, Deborah, tell him, then and only then, men begin to call upon the name of Yah. It's when he had who? Enos. So it was him all the time, but the world told you it was Seth. Everybody, I've heard it preached so many times, it's crazy. But it's just showing you how people can think they know something. They're a long ways from home. The best way to make it home is to eat all the spiritual food that you can get. Ask all the spiritual questions that you can get. You got you if y'all. Me being a little girl, I couldn't ask nobody. Teenager, I didn't have nobody to ask. Young adult, I didn't have nobody. I never asked, even though I sat in the church all them years. I never asked anybody. It was always feeling I had a relationship with the Most High God. I always felt that. But I never asked anybody. And even to this point now, it wouldn't even make any sense to. Because that's how far people are from home. So why would you go somebody else's way home when you know home is this way? Oh, I should go through the broad gate to go find home, huh? No, the way is the narrow gate. That's the way home. That's the way I'm going. No, I'm not going to turn around and go your way. I'm going to go the way that's been leading me since I was 4. That's the way home. And if I have to go home alone, I'll be home alone. I'm going. And that's what people have issues with. Because they want you dumbfounded like they are. They want you at the level of understanding where they are. But how can you be there? When he been with you all this time, he gonna give you to somebody else so they can take you from here. For what? Where I'm going? To their house? Yeah, that's what they want you to do. People want you to come to meet them where they at. Oh no, I ain't meeting you where you at. Take your tail on where you're going. Okay? Because I ain't meeting you where you at. So take your tail on where you need to be going. Because I ain't going that route. I'm going this way. You want to go that way? Go ahead on. I ain't got a problem with that. But I'm going this way. Because this way, I know. That way, I don't. And even if I go this way, I'm going to get a whooping. And it's going to send me back the way I need to be going. So, back to this here. This is it. Look at this here, y'all. Look at this right here. It says, Yah planted a seed of hope in the spiritual DNA of Seth. Who was that? Enos. He was the spiritual seed. He was the DNA. And this is why people didn't understand Abraham. They didn't even understand. People don't even understand why did Abraham have 2 separate visions in one day? What was he? One of them was in the spirit before Yah, and the other one was in uttermost darkness. Why? Because he was showing him about 2 different seeds. I know you don't know nothing about that, do you? Let's go there. How about that? Let's go to Genesis 15. Let's go there. Let's go there. How about that? Genesis 15. In Genesis 15, and verse 1, after these things, the word came unto Abraham in a vision. See? Abraham was in a vision, you guys. He wasn't in the natural. He was in a vision. When the father was telling him, he said to him in the vision, said, fear not. Abraham was scared as a chicken. He was in the vision. Okay? Fear not, Abraham, I am. Ooh, I like that word. I am. Thy shield and thy exceedingly great reward. Listen to what he's telling. Verse 2. And Abraham said, Yah, what will thou give me, seeing I am childless, and the steward of my house in Zaire and Damascus? Verse 3. Abraham said, behold, To me thou hast given no seed. To me thou hast given no seed. And lo, one born in my house, no seed. Lo, one born in my house is my heir. Is it? Or no seed, and lo, one born in my house, that house is my heir. So he's telling the father that he don't have a bloodline. He don't have children. He's telling him like y'all don't know, but he hearing him out. And behold, the word of Yah. See, y'all don't stop telling people this Bible and these Bibles and all these lost books and all these Enoch books and all this mess is the word. It's not. And the word of Yah came unto him, saying, this shall not be thy heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thy heir. And he brought him, look what he's doing in the vision. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward the heavens and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. Now, when he's telling Abraham about thy seed, he's speaking of flesh. He's speaking of flesh. He said thy seed is going to be like the stars that cannot be numbered. Okay? But the ones that is his heir is going to be the spiritual seed. Okay? So verse 6, and he believed in Yah. His belief in Yah was in the spirit. He was in the spirit, in the vision. Now watch this here. And he counted it to be him for righteous. Yah counted Abraham for righteous while he was in the vision. Meaning he revealed to Abraham, you're counted in me in righteous. He was telling this to Abraham. Now, as you go on, you go to verse 12. Let's go to verse 11. We still in the vision. We still in Abraham and Yah. Now he gave him that in the vision. Watch this here. Verse 11. Abraham, Genesis 15 and verse 11. And when the fowls came down upon the carcass, Abraham drove them away. And when the sun was gone down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham. Now, you see, he's in the sleep here. Wait a minute, hold up. First, he was in the vision. Now he's in a deep sleep. Now, this deep sleep is a sleep to the point of death of the flesh. So here Abraham flipping from a vision, in the spirit realm with Yah. Now he's in a verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram. And lo, a horror of darkness fell upon him. Now, 99.15 trillion wouldn't catch this. You can only catch these things by the spirit that's within you, which is the Father. Here was two things in one day. One was in the vision standing before the Most High Yah. The other one was a deep sleep that fell upon him, and lo, verse 12, and lo, an horror of darkness fell upon him. It flipped the script, y'all. It flipped that bad boy. It flipped. He's finna give him an heir to inherit in the beginning, in the vision. And then he's showing him how he's going to have many seeds as the stars in the sky. But you're going to have an inheritance out of your own bow. And then when you see here, he said, he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars if thou be able to count him. He couldn't count them. But why would you tell him to count them? Okay. So he's just letting them know you're going to have many seeds, but you're going to have an heir. That heir is going to be an heir to the spiritual seeds. Now watch this here. So now you flipped him from a vision to a dark, deep horror of darkness, sleep. What kind of stuff is that? Okay. Now in verse 13, he said unto Abram, now of assurance that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall be afflicted, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also thy nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to, no, he was finna tell him, Abraham's gonna go to his father's, meaning die. He's gonna, in a sense, tell him he's not gonna be living when this happened. But here, look at the horror of darkness he flipped into the mind of Abraham. He gave him two sides, a vision where he was with him, the father, and an uttermost darkness to show him the dark side of his seed. That's going to be many. He's showing them. And he said in verse 13 to Abraham, know for a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation, he called it only one nation. He didn't call it 2 and 3 and 4. So whatever these wait a minute, let me see how he called them. Whatever those seed, whatever nation those seeds go to, that seed go to, whom thou shalt serve, I will judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to, no, that's going back to his father. So here he showed two different sides. He showed one in the spirit realm where he's going to give him an heir. And then the other one, he showed him in a uttermost, in pretty much almost like he put down Adam. You see, put him down to sleep when he took, it said a rib or whatever. But this one here was worse. He said in verse 13, and he said unto Abraham, verse 12, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, now of assurance that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land. So this land is this United States, y'all. This is the land. This is the nation that has that Abraham's seed have served. Okay. And when you see this, you got to see SEED. You got to see that. You see that? And you also have to see also the nation, meaning one. Okay. But what you got to understand is he's coming after a nation. And the only nation I could think of and know of would be the United States of America. And they walking around here, the elites that's doing this wicked of the wicked of the wicked of the wicked. They done brought everything to the highest, to the heaven. I tell you what, the Father said their darkness has reached the heaven. Now you know you can't go no past that. So that's where he said their darkness has reached the heaven. So that's how deep their darkness has reached. So see how they done bypass everybody, and everybody all doing everything they want, doing things. But this one man was saying that we could turn it around if we all, 50 million of us, just decided not to go to work and not to abide by their rules. We can break them. It can actually happen, but it's so much y'all gonna destroy when you finish breaking anyway. See, that's what we want to do. We want to leave the Father out of it. But he's the beginning and the end. So he's going to have to pull up anyway. So we can work, you can run your tail around here, even in your own life. And you can put y'all out of your life all you want. When you finish, he's still the beginning and the end. When you done, he's still going to be all that and some. So you're going to be looking stupid. Because he's still going to be who he is. The I am that I am. A higher. And you ain't going to be change nothing but look stupid. So here, I wanted to show you in Genesis chapter 15, you have to be able to put the two together and see the true meaning. Okay? And with me, I see it as one is showing him that he's going to have an heir. And he's going to have a nation. He's going to have so many seeds, meaning the natural seeds all over. Okay? But when you get into the part of darkness, this is when the horror comes. That's set there for a purpose. You would never, ever get a Hebrew Israelite teaching that bad boy there. They will not go there, baby. Because they do not want to go there. Ain't that sad? They will not go into Genesis chapter 15 and verse 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. They'll skip 10, 11, and 12, and they'll swing your bad tail to 13 and 14 and call it a day. Just like they do about the slave ship. They'll put the yoke around your neck in the slave ship, but they ain't reading no more of Deuteronomy 28. End game. Because Deuteronomy 28 got a bad end game to it. Ooh, yeah. It's got an end game to it, but they don't want to play the end game. They don't want to preach it. They don't want to teach it. They don't want to speak on it. You see? But that's okay. But I just wanted to show you in Genesis 15, there's two routes. There's one in the spirit, and there's one in the uttermost part of great darkness and horror when he was put down. And this great horror of great darkness is to the point of death. That's what he took Abraham. That's where he took him, y'all. Listen to verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham. And lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. He wasn't playing. Why? Why is that? He's showing him the other side, y'all. See, we want to make everything about the first side. Oh, he showed him he's going to be he's going to have an heir. He's going to have a seed, and they're going to be as the stars in the sea, and I mean the stars in the sky and in the heavens, and he's going to have Isaac and Jacob. And when y'all finish talking, you have to be able to understand it in the way he wanted you to see it, both sides. To where we at now, we have no idea his remnant, and the remnant is the one he's taking over to Mount Zion, or the spiritual seed. Now, are these spiritual seed perfect? No way near. Are these spiritual seeds excellent? Nope. Are they sinless? Nope. Do they have iniquity and sin? Yep. They got all that and some, but he don't care. I redeemed your butt already. Get your butt on in here. Come on here. We going. But when you get to that Mount Zion, I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to clean your nasty tails up. See, it would be no, if people would take Ezekiel 36 and see how he going to clean us, then you'll understand how nasty we are. I ain't got no shame in my game. I'm going to tell you the truth. And until you understand Ezekiel 36 and see how he's going to clean you up, you still walking around here saying you already clean. You stupid. That's why. You don't know no better. You walking around here holier than thou. Oh, I got my keys to the kingdom. I got my one-way ticket to Mount Zion. You ain't got nothing but a fool's mentality. Because when you get into Ezekiel 36, where he talking about he's going to clean and sprinkle us with water, he ain't doing that on the journey, y'all. He ain't doing that in the United States. He doing that when he gets you in the middle of that Mount Zion, where all power going to come and renew you from top to bottom. Even your spirit, he giving you a new one. He even giving you a new flesh order. You see? But see, the reason why they don't talk about that, because all that gives the Father glory. All that really sets the pace of how excellent, how wonderful, and how great he is. Oh, no, they don't want you to know that. But they'll serve this world. So this is why the people in this country is likened to the country itself. And let me tell you why. Want me to tell you why they are like that? Let me tell you why. I'm watching this country take everything away from the people. I'm watching it. Well, with me, they can't take nothing from me because guess what? I ain't never had nothing. How about that? You can't take something from somebody who ain't never had. So how about that? So that's where my spirit rests. Father, I ain't never had nothing, so they can't take nothing from me. Hello. And I count that a blessing. When you look back over your life and you realize why maybe y'all didn't allow. This is it. They can't take nothing from you. You ain't never had nothing. And you want me to tell you something else about that? You don't know how to survive. You don't know how to survive. Why? They can't. If you already know how to survive with nothing, what makes you think you ain't going to survive with something? I mean, if you already know how to survive with nothing, what makes you think if it get any worse, you ain't going to know? Baby, let me show y'all something. I bought these here a while back from the thrift store. Y'all see this here? You see this here? My son, Quiet Storm, wife asked me, she said, Quiet Storm act like, she called him Joseph, acts like he would live in the woods. She's so silly because he would. He'll live in the woods because that's his mentality. You see this here? I got about probably 100 candles, wax candles. Wax candles. Well, let me get my other thing. I'm going to show y'all something. Y'all think I'm playing? I can't find it, but I'll look for it and I'll show it to you another day. So I go get these at the thrift store. I think this one here was like $3.99, and this one's $5.99. You know what this is, y'all? Do y'all know what this is? Do you know what this is? When everything is gone out, you don't have no stove. I have to go into the woods. If I have to live in here, the electric, everything go out. I'd put a candle in. I would go for the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And guess what? I bought a rack that goes on top. And now I got a stove. You see that? You see this one? Same way. I can cook probably 2 pots on here with candles. Put the candles in there. Put your rack. I have to show you the rack, and it all makes sense. Put my pots on here and cook. And do y'all know? I don't even know if I'm going to be here that long. But guess what? I've already told my son, this is, if I'm not here, know where some stuff is at and know how to do it. Sister Deborah don't play. So I'm not afraid of not having nothing because I ain't never had nothing, even though it looked like I got something. Keep on looking. You the fool. Ain't no shame in my game. I bet you some of yours. I can guarantee you some of yours. So everything that I have, if I go to the Goodwill and in my mind when I'm there and they got something that a survival, let me show you something, baby. You think I'm playing? This here is if it get cold, winter, summer, and you in your house, no electric, no. This here is a blanket. And no matter how cold it is, it'll keep you warm. You see here? Let me take it out. This is what this is, a blanket. You see? Where I started getting those is I saw them in the Goodwill. And then I saw them on something to order. I saw it in the Goodwill, and I got those that I saw in the Goodwill. I said, you know what? When I saw them, I said, let me get some more of these. I only have like 10. But my son, Joseph, he'll tell you quite storm. He said, my mother said she ain't gonna be here. I told him that. I might not be here. But y'all get over here and y'all work these things that's here. Don't come looking for me. I told him, baby. I told him. Don't come looking for me. It's no need to come looking for me. I might not be here, but don't come looking for me. I've been told him that. Don't come looking for me. Leave me alone. Y'all just go ahead. Y'all ain't been with me all these years for me to be stupid. So these here, I got 10 of them for each child and each grandchildren. 6 kids and 2 grandchildren. 1 for my ex-husband and 1 if I'm here. But I don't think I'm going to be. And you think I care? Please. Real. For real, for real. I live like he have taught me. He didn't teach me this, but he is in me and got me living daily. Don't look for like everybody else. Oh, I got to make sure me, and mine. No. This here stuff here, I got this here, these blankets, because I saw them in the Goodwill. That was like 6 months ago. Then I saw them on TV. I said, you know what? Not on TV, on YouTube. Was it YouTube? Not on YouTube, but on the internet. And I said, these are the same one I got at the thrift store. And they was a little of nothing. I said, let me order 6 more because I got 4 at the thrift store. Those little pans and stuff, baby, that's that stuff. I was having that down in my basement where I was last stay, where I was telling you just stocking stuff to be able to have. It's so many old stoves and stuff like that. If you all see the stuff that Sister Deborah has put into her emergency little old stuff. I mean stuff you wouldn't even think, but they used it back in the days. You see what I'm saying? They over there at the house, and I told them, if anything happened to y'all, use this here. All the different lights and everything. Why? Because this country, and just like I was telling you about Ezekiel, he's coming for a certain people, y'all. And I ain't gonna say people. He coming for a certain spirit. Even though they're gonna be in the people, but he coming for a certain one. He ain't coming to collect everybody. And everybody right now, as he was teaching me this morning, he said their mindset is like unto those who rule this country. They got their mindset is just like them. That's why they don't see no wrong in what they're doing. And I said that to myself. I said, Father, that is what I've been saying for many years. The people seem like they just so content. He said they are. They have become identical to those who killed, steal, destroy, murder, pedophiles. What else was all on that list? Pedophiles, still robbing, killing, destroying. Why do you think they go over in other countries try to take over so they can rule over those people? And they first thing they one grabbed, do y'all know some of the first things they grabbed? They kids. All those, y'all, that's just too many. Y'all, 500,000 Mexican kids came across that border that they end up with. And ain't nobody said nothing. It's just so much stuff that they do that this country We got pedophiles. They've been pedophiles for 100 and something years. They eating kids. No, I ain't gonna sit and tell they eating kids. They eating flesh. They're all doing it. China, Russia right behind them. They're all doing it. But nothing overtops this one. This here has the most missing children. Y'all didn't know they did you in the world. This country here. And we standing here talking about make it great again. How great can it get in evil? The Father said that the sins of this country has reached the heaven. So how great can this country get? As great as the people are, because they liken to the country itself. They are likened to it. And it all makes sense. And even if it didn't make sense, it's still what it is. Even if you think it ain't. It is what it is. So in that all, the sum of this alone in Seth, the world would say that he was the spiritual seed. It really would. Every pastor, bishop, priest, apostle, prophet, Maureen, CEO, watchman, prophetess, they would think that he was the spiritual seed. That ain't what that said. It says when he had the son, then from that time on, the men began to praise the Most High Yah. And then Adam is telling you how Seth was an image of Adam and a likeness of Adam. So that should have told you something. How is he going to be all that of Adam and be the spiritual seed? Wake up, people. I know it's too hard for you to wake up. You've been asleep too long. You've been asleep with this world in their darkness. And your eyes been closed in the dark. Not because your natural eyes is closed. Your natural eyes wide awake. Your wicked darkness has been in this world for too long. You can't even see the light of nothing. So when it says Yah planted a seed of hope in the spiritual DNA of Seth. Who is that spiritual DNA? Enos. That was the spiritual seed, not Seth. Enoch. The seed of hope was planted in the spiritual DNA of Seth. And that was in Enos. That's who that was. See? They just make everything a lie. Because they ain't got nothing else better to do to lie. And like the Father said, and I think the best thing he could have given me today, just even talking to you all, is to let me know the darkness has reached the level of heaven. That means you can't go nowhere else. But what? Back down to Yah. And that's exactly what they doing. I'm sitting here watching it and trying to figure out what these people would have to be like they are. Is that why they're not saying nothing? Yes, exactly. Because they are identical to the elites and all these pedophiles and Roman Catholics, these Jesuits and this fake ooze. The people have become like them. That's why they don't care what you know now. They got it all out in the open and they don't care. You know why? They can't go no higher than they are. It already reached to heaven. That's why they don't care. That you know all their business. That you know they like this. Because they know you can't do nothing about it. You didn't let them do it. You didn't crown them too long. You didn't crown them entirely too long. You didn't bow down to them, crown them, and worship them and running around here with your lying mouth saying, oh, no, not me. I didn't use a lie from the pit of hell. If that's what you said, you standing here saying you did, because that's how they got the power that they ended up getting. Is the people gave it to them, even to this day. You should never claim this land or claim nothing that's on it. And if we in the midnight hour, like no other, that means, like he said to me tonight, it didn't reach to heaven. It's no reason you be down here trying to claim it and name it like you got something. I, Sister Deborah, a prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. I'll be back again. I appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live. And I will be back. Shalom and shalom. They didn't change the whole platform, you guys.